Hi everybody. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to do FastCast replication. This is being done in response to a recent issue I've heard from a lot of people where bullets still appear to jitter even though they're using the module. The reason for this is quite simple and is not physics related. The issue is more related to the fact that network replication causes some lag between clients and the server. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to resolve that issue. I'll start off by inserting the default FastCast laser gun that's included with the module. It's also up as its own model. This laser gun is relatively simple and has a server-side code, client-side code, the module, the script signal module inside of this, which is no longer needed in the newer version, and the mouse event, which is a remote event used to pass the event between the client and the server. I'm going to implement the newer module into this laser gun real quick. There we go. So the first thing we'll have, let me go ahead and move my Explorer over here so you can see what I'm doing. The first thing we need to cover is why the lag is happening. And I mentioned this before. It's relatively simple. It's simply because of network latency, not physics. In order to resolve this, we actually need to replicate the casts and have each client do their own individually. So for the gun, we can actually have a cast on the server, say, that does hit detection, but we also need to tell every client to render their own cast. Otherwise, if we rely on the server for this especially, it may appear to lag. For the sake of ease, I'm going to be modifying the existing laser gun because that has the setup that most people use, and it's partially my fault for people getting it wrong because of that, because my example says that you should do it only on the server with the cosmetic bullet. But I'm about to show you how to really get this to work. So our first plan of action is going to be to find some way to replicate this bullet. And since we need it to always show up, we're going to go into the starter player scripts and add a local script. In this local script, we'll name it cast replication client. And in this script, we can use a remote event that I'll create in the replicated storage. And we'll name this event cast send. Or how about send to cast? That looks a little better. Now, what we need to do is on the server side, we no longer need to create a cosmetic bullet object. Or more, we can, but it should only be created once, not for every gun. This is to save instances. And doing this, we'll get to that a little later though. The other option is to create it on the client, and in fact, that's what I'm going to do instead. If you have multiple guns, you'll need to make multiple cosmetic bullets and differentiate between which one to use with the event. I'll go ahead and set up a basic system for that, even though I'll only use one gun. First of all, we need to create or comment this stuff out, because we're not going to use this anymore. This creates the caster on the server side. We can leave the code here to do hit detection and everything else. Please keep in mind that if you do this, some clients may experience lag because the people they see on their screen may not be there on the server, causing their bullets to miss even if they see them hitting. Because of this, it's actually advised to use the fire method on that client. Even though this is exploitable, it's better for user experience. You can protect this on your own. If you're an experienced scripter, you should be able to. I won't get into that, however, as that's for an entirely different video or discussion. So here, we're going to append a new line of code. Up at the top, we need to get this event that we put in the replicated storage. We'll want to use the wait for child method because that's general good practice for these things. I'll copy that. And now down here, we need to fire this event to all clients. and we need to pass in the information of where we're casting this from. We'll just copy and paste this exact information we're sending into the cast itself. Now we need to move over to the replication client script. Well, actually, we have one thing we need to do before that. This is strongly advised. You should never have the module inside of a gun. This creates multiple module instances and is just kind of not the best thing to do. I'd recommend putting this into replicated storage and then having the server point to that. We should also make a declaration for the replicated storage. No, I actually already have that on my clipboard. There we go. There, that's better. We'll save this. There we go. On the client side, we can keep this as it is now. So back to the server. What we've done is we've moved the FastCast module to the replicated storage, added an event to replicated storage, and changed the script respectively. Now we fired this event, and the next step is to add the handler to the client. As you can see here, we're passing in the position, the direction, the distance, and the speed. The direction includes the distance as part of the module. We should probably name this origin instead. I should also add, this is optional. If you're going to have multiple guns, it is extremely advised that you do this, an identifier. What we use this variable for is to, especially if each gun has its own specific kind of bullet, specific speed, and specific effectors, we need to be able to know which one to create on the client side. Is that what I named it? I don't remember actually, I just forgot. Laser pistol, okay. That's right. There we go. Now, since we know it's a laser pistol, we also need to create the cast on the client side. We can actually use bullet physics for this, so long as we create the bullet locally. The reason this works is because the client will be handling the physics, thus reducing any network lag. This is actually the cause for bullet physics lag, is the network lag. Again, you should create a cosmetic bullet for each specific type of weapon. This variable name is not desired in the case that I have multiple weapons. A better name would be laser cosmetic bullet, or something like that. I'll start off by cloning this bullet to create a new instance. We'll also want to C-frame it to that origin location. What I've done here is fairly simple. Getting a unit vector of some value like this creates a vector 3 that has a magnitude of 1. And by doing origin, then origin plus this, it ensures that the bullet will point in the right direction. The next thing we need to do is move it forward just a little bit. What this will do is put the back of the bullet at the end of the origin. This way it doesn't appear that the bullet's spawning from the center. Or, oops, velocity. Now there's two ways we can do this. The first way is to use this direction with magnitude.unit, or we can do cframe.lookVector. I'll use the cframe. Actually, no, I'll use the unit because that's generally better. We'll multiply that unit by speed to move it to the proper speed. You'll also want to make this bullet massless. We'll do that up here, because that's a common value between every bullet. What this will do is, of course, make it unaffected by gravity. Ideally, this may not be the case. I've not experimented with this yet. If not, I'll show you how to fix that. There is one issue we may run into with these cosmetic bullets that use physics, and that's that the bullet will not know where to stop. We could tie it into the touched event. This will work, at least in most cases. There may be some cases where this won't work. As a result of this, I'll also be writing in a version that actually uses the FastCast module in the replicated storage to create a custom cast. In fact, it may be better to do that. Let's do that instead. So to reiterate that information, the reason I'm not using this physics method is because there may be some desyncs between the bullet, like it renders incorrectly, doesn't reflect upon the right information. To start off, we'll need to create the module. Let's have a look at the API. Yes, that's oh, no, I forgot that's not the method I use anymore. Let's do that for now. Actually, let's not do that at all. Laser pistol caster.ignore. If this is nil, it's okay. We're just doing this so that the bullet won't hit us. This fire method is default. In the case that you have a custom functionality like fire with whitelist or blacklist, you'll want to use that here too, just like you do on the server. This should basically be identical to the server. In fact, we should probably copy and paste this code and then just edit it accordingly. We'll not do that because the variables are quite different and it would be faster to just type it manually. Oops. How about that? We can copy and paste this. There is one difference that we'll do here. First we'll want to do origin plus direction with magnitude.units. The one change we'll want to do here is rather than parenting it to the workspace, we want to parent it to workspace.currentCamera. This is a local instance only, which means only we can see this part. However, with filtering enabled or experimental mode off, this wouldn't show anyway if we put it in the workspace. This is just generally good practice. We want to connect our functions just like we do in the server. In fact, I may actually copy and paste this. That'd be quite handy. We'll do our connections down here. We'll also want to create the event. I can copy and paste this from the server as well. There, that's good. This should work just fine. So to give a general rundown of what we've just done again, we've changed the server side to not show any bullets. It exclusively does hit detection and that's it. It does not render anything. There is one exception and that's a little different. I'll need to do this actually. We'll need to move this, make particle effects to the client side. We should also store the particle effects on the client, but I'm not going to do that for the sake of simplicity. So what we've done is we've made the server side only do hit detection and damage and all of that. We'll also want to disconnect this because we don't use a cosmetic bullet anymore. In fact, we might as well disconnect the entire event. And what we've done is we've handed off the job of rendering the bullet to the client. What we do is we tell all of the clients to create this bullet for the laser pistol. And because it's a laser pistol, we create a very specific cosmetic bullet and fire a client-side ray that does not do anything except for control the bullet. If I move this into the starter pack and show you how it works, assuming we don't get any errors, this should replicate just fine. It should look normal in Studio. Yeah, the server side still references the cosmetic bullet object, so that did throw an error on the server side. It's just line 65 said cosmetic bullet object does not exist, which I should have removed that. But this works just fine. As you can see, the cast still looks completely normal, but the benefit here is that on the client side or on a game server for different clients, this bullet will appear just as it does on the server with no lag at all. I originally had plans to create a module that automates this process. However, that seemed too specific. As you can see, it's relatively easy for people to make their own specialized handlers. There is no sort of global handler for this. It's all based on what you're doing in your game. Hopefully this video has helped you out. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or message me. I keep my message box open. Other than that, thanks for watching.